It's so beautiful when we honor the change of seasons in so-called nature, but also the seasons in our own body, in our own lives, and give that space. And I feel in life right now, we're on a huge change of season as a human family. And, my senses, I don't know if this is right, but so I'm just speaking from my experience. So if you don't agree, that's fine. And in my sense, my experience, the suffering is so intense that's happening right now. It's kind of like being amplified, and pain. People are living in disappointment, anger, sadness is really rampant more than ever. And simultaneously, I also feel this quality of awakening is widening and deepening more than ever. It's kind of simultaneous. And my sense is because of, anyways, I've spoken about this before, of the frequency of earth and sky, which is all earth, anyways, is so high that they barely can measure it anymore. So with that, anything that's not us comes out. It comes out in the form of, when there is pain, more pain than ever, more coming aware of what actually is your experience. And also more coming aware of the questioning, yeah, what's the point of all of this to be here? What the F am I doing here? What's the point? What do I want? How do I want to truly live this life? And being bombarded with AI right now and seen as the big thing in the future. And I think there's something beautiful about AI, as with everything in itself, it's neutral. It's like, how do we use it? And I don't know if you know the words of Rudolf Steiner, who spoke more than 100 years ago around how there would come, like, he would call them mind machines. There will come mind machines that in itself, I'm paraphrasing him. In itself, they're handy, but we're being trained to think that that's the highest there is. So more and more people get connected with those mind machines and feel helped by them. And then kind of are handing their own heart and mind, thinking, and their critical possibilities, the frontal lobe, hand that over to a machine and start more and more becoming a machine, you could say, and leaving their own organicity, naturalness, their own innernet, as I call it, not internet, but innernet, more and more leaving it behind. And I feel we're in that time right now that Rudolf Steiner spoke about, and we're getting informed about AIs taking over and how good it is, and etc. And yes, I'm sure it has good stuff to it. And how much are you actually resting in your inner, in your heart, in and as your nature, and listening to your own internet instead of going to the chat GPT or however you call that, and ask that questions and receive that knowledge. How do you know, first of all, that that's true what you receive? But even if it is true and gives great overviews, I know many people that use it. I don't really have any judgment about it besides just be aware of what you're doing. Don't bypass your own inner. It's the most profound. It's the most profound. Your own inner. It's home. It has and is the deepest intelligence and awake being, you could call it, but awakeness itself that leaves any machine behind. Yeah. It has a heart, a deep, deep heart, your nature. So it takes tremendous courage to really ask yourself, what's, you could say, my task? What's really coming from my innernet? Not what a teacher tells me, what a machine tells me, what anybody tells me. What comes truly from my deepest place? Daring to take time for that and daring to go in to trust what you hear, what comes from in your source of intelligence, of love, of wakefulness. How much can you trust that? How much do you dare to listen it, be still, and receive what is your truth? Even when God or a machine or a friend tells you, no, that's not true. I have this and this, or I think this and this. You don't have to dismiss what anybody else says. You can feel into it if that resonates. But you, we, by coming together, we create a resonant field that supports you to go into your own resonant field, into your own innernet, to fully know, first of all, who you are, what you are, and how you and what you are wants to live as you, what you came down for, to live. And that's really so freaking exciting that you have a free will to live as you. And yes, life, nature, in the end will decide anyways what's going to unfold. And there's something very powerful in listening and following the guidance from within that comes from the truth and the love and the heart of your nature, of your inner. And I feel we're pushed to the rim to dare to live that. And don't believe anything that's fed to us until we know it's the truth here in your inner, in your heart, in your nature. Yeah. It's such an amazing opportunity when you want to walk that fine line. Ooh, no, Ooh, stay here. Ooh, no, I stay here. Ooh, no, yeah, to stay in and as your innernet. And that's why it's so important, in my experience, to feel this axis down, this axis of light. And zoom, you're rooted. You're in earth. We are all living in earth. And then we're living also in the earth, connected with earth all the way down, connected with sky all the way up, connected with the horizontal axis, with everyone, with love, with life, with that timeless beauty here, with the realness of form here in connection. And it all comes from the innernet, the inner connection from you. And then you cannot but know it everywhere. It really takes fierce compassion, being setting your flag down in the ground and then gazing from the eternal innernet, the eternal I, eyes, and I. From the three eyes you have, you are. And that will bring real joy in your life. Real joy, real peace, real bliss.